What a wonderful, uplifting film. Good evening, everyone. Like many of you, I have long respected World Jewish Relief's mission, addressing poverty, responding to disaster, helping people make a living for themselves. Danielle and I have always enjoyed coming to the annual dinner and learning about World Jewish Relief's work here, at home, and around the world. And we're always happy to make our modest annual financial contribution, proudly participating in giving as a collective Jewish community. But in the 12 short months since I've had the privilege of serving as chair of World Jewish Relief, I've seen up close and personal the extraordinary capacity, professionalism, and real impact at every level of this very fine organization. Of course, I knew that we responded to humanitarian emergency appeals. In 2021 alone, we responded in 13 countries, including Haiti, India, Nepal, Ethiopia, Nicaragua, and of course, Afghanistan. But I never realized that it's because of years of planning ahead with trusted partners in 9 vulnerable geographies that we were able to respond when needed through our Disaster Preparedness Initiative. I've long been proud that in 2016, World Jewish Relief was the way the British Jewish community stepped up to help refugees fleeing to Britain from the terrible conflict in Syria. But I had no idea just how closely we work in partnership with Her Majesty's Home Office, and that today, in 16 different locations, World Jewish Relief is the largest single provider helping refugees get back to work in the United Kingdom. And of course, personally, I've always known that our origins were rescuing tens of thousands of Jews from Europe in the 1930s, and that we have never forgotten the suffering of elderly and impoverished Eastern European Jews, often themselves Nazi victims. But I had no idea just how thoughtfully we adapt to their specific needs and ensure that they are warm and safe, not isolated and alone, and that they can live out their autumn years with dignity. In those 12 months, I've learned just how much talent and determination our professional team, our partners, our trustees, our committee members, and our volunteers put into running an extremely effective and efficient organization and in serving our thousands of clients with hugely positive and sustainable impact. I recently joined World Jewish Relief colleagues in Turkey to visit a project we established specifically to support members of the Uyghur community who have been driven from their homes in East Turkestan by the brutal campaign of surveillance and persecution of their community in China. I met 2 remarkable teenage twin girls, separated from their father, who, if he's still alive at all, must be among the more than 1 million Uyghurs incarcerated in the notorious web of government education centers. The girls were alone, destitute, without basic rights, and facing profound uncertainty. But they were also brimming with youthful optimism, determined to face their future with hope and confidence. As we chatted together, I couldn't help thinking about my own father, Ben, who I'm so very, very happy is here with us tonight, Dad. He was also just 16 when World Jewish Relief brought him and 731 other orphan refugee survivors to the UK in 1945 after the Holocaust. He was also supported to learn a new language, to get some schooling, to gain the confidence and community he needed to rebuild his life here after having lost everything and almost everyone he knew and loved. I told the girls Dad's story and how moved I was that I could meet them as a representative of that very same World Jewish Relief. I quoted our magnificent CEO, Paul Anticone, to explain that back in the 1930s and 40s, World Jewish Relief helped refugees like my dad because they were Jewish. Today, we help refugees because we are Jewish. It was a poignant moment for all of us, and I don't mind admitting that I shed a few tears. Of course, it's only with your active generosity that we can help those in need. And this year, World Jewish Relief and our partners have a colossal task ahead. We anticipate that we will need to reach at least 115,000 people in more than 20 countries at a cost of £6 million. Our thousands of Jewish older clients in Ukraine, Moldova, Georgia and Belarus remain isolated and incredibly vulnerable, entirely reliant on us to keep them safe and warm, to provide food and vital medical care, as well as friendship. We are seeing the biggest refugee crisis of our times. Climate-related disasters and armed conflict are, unfortunately, on the rise. World Jewish Relief must prepare to respond to the unexpected at a moment's notice. You know we can't act without you. We rely on your loyal and generous support. So I'm asking you to please give generously tonight so that we can be there for the thousands more Yanals, Tatianas and Feliciens this year. For too many people, the pandemic has had a terrible impact on their life, their health, their finances. For those of us who have been fortunate not to have suffered too much, we can help those who have been less fortunate. Please enjoy the pleasure and the privilege of giving as generously as you can. Thank you.